Howdy partners. I'm going to rush through this a little bit because there's 5 minutes until the debate starts and I would like to watch it. Crazy long day of sourcing. Long story short, I wanted to get as much inventory as possible because my sales were deathly slow, and then I started listing consistently again after a long fallow period of not doing that enough. Sales shot through the roof. So I wanted a big stockpile of stuff that I can list consistently over the coming week, so there won't be any gaps where I'm not listing anything on a particular day. So this first bit is going to be from the bins. I spent around 40 bucks. I'll give you the exact number when I find the receipt. It was around 40 bucks, so average cost of goods was probably $1, $1.50 maybe. This was probably free. It weighs nothing. This is a windbreaker from this brand. Something weird was going on with eBay today. The app was technically working, but I couldn't look anything up. I kept getting an error message, and there were other people online that were saying the same thing. So I had to gauge my metrics using Poshmark, the Poshmark app, which I'm not used to doing at all. So some of this might have been a little off the mark. We'll see. I'm not used to doing that. This is an Obey sweater, crew neck. This is Aztec pattern, very popular with the kids. This is a Columbia fleece, just basic Columbia women's teal. Couple little streaks, really minor streaks, imperfections in the fabric itself, but weighs almost nothing, probably cost $1 or less. Never bought this before. I hear people talking about it. I think this is a subdivision of Free People. Women's sleeveless t-shirt. This is a remaindered item from a Goodwill retail store. I have found that those typically are the better items at the bins. I'm still new to the bins. I don't have all my straps worked out. This is an interesting shirt, a collaboration between Miller and Adidas. Didn't look it up, but I figured this is probably worth at least 10 bucks. It's got the geometric pattern on the back. I was just kind of grabbing anything that looked half decent. I don't typically buy this Taylor Loft stuff. It's pretty basic, I get the impression. I've sold a few pieces before. This is a knit cardigan. I've been having great luck with the Goodwill bins. The cost of goods is so low that it lets you price the stuff really low, and stuff has just been flipping like crazy fast. So that's my strategy with the bins now. This is a brand called Mondetta. This rang a bell mentally. This was somewhere in the back of my head, and I looked it up on Poshmark, and the stuff was selling for quite a bit of money. This might be a significant item. It might just be a standard 20, 30 buck thing. This is a zip-up sweater. Unfamiliar with this brand. I don't know a whole lot of women's brands. Maybe this is common, maybe it's not. I think it's an Anthropology brand, but this keyword is boho, B-O-H-O. It's a very popular aesthetic with the Coachella clique. This was a treat. Not a phenomenal brand, but new with tags. And it retailed for, it doesn't have a price on it. It's a dress, kind of a snakeskin print dress. What is that? Some live business dealings. Oh, I sold a largemouth bass lure. This was a cool find. This might actually be worth more money. This is the Champagne, and this is a vintage snapback hat. I can't believe one of the cool people in the bins didn't pick this up before I did, but this was stuffed in under a bunch of clothing. I've found that if you go very slowly and methodically through the bins, even when they've been picked over a bunch of times, you still find great stuff. Most of this was from around 3 or 4 individual bins. I think people just blaze through that, and they move too fast, and the reality is, not to be smug at all, but most people don't really know what they're doing when it comes to sourcing clothing, or if you are smart and experienced in terms of reselling, you will outperform 90-95% of people at any given thrift store. The better you get, the less competition there is. PFG, again, I'm not trying to be smug at all. Nobody is under the obligation to know anything about clothing. It's just the reality. This is the Columbia PFG kind of basic long sleeve shirt / sweater. A little bit of feeling on the logo there. Got this for $1. Another self-help book. I am devouring these for better or for worse. There will be a video coming up about that one too, I'm sure. Can't believe I found this. This is a streetwear brand called Mishka. Here's the logo. I've sold a couple pieces from them. They all sell immediately, and they sell for decent money. I assume I will get at least $30 for this shirt. Didn't look it up. Don't know if that's something special or not. Here's another new with tags thing. Another one that I had to look up on Poshmark because I wasn't familiar with it. This is a remaindered Goodwill retail store thing. Here's the tag. It's just a dress. It is a black dress. Don't remember how much that's worth. Pick this up on the strength of the pattern. This is a tag I've seen a few times before while sourcing, but I never bought it. But some have sold on Poshmark, and it's really loud. It has these mesh sleeves. There's a truism in reselling ugly sells, and I found it to be the case. Stuff that is really loud, tacky, garish, typically sells for decent money. Here's a Neil Young tour t-shirt from 2014, probably not worth a ton, but will probably sell for $10. Again, if you pay $1 for something and you sell it for $10, you end up netting probably around $5. 5 extra money. Grant Cardone style. I'm not a Grant Cardone fan, just for the record. Another unfamiliar brand that had little twee bicycles on it. It's a women's t-shirt top. Rolling the dice there. Here is another Free People, I think, if memory serves. Memory does serve. There's the tag. It's a, I don't know the name. Is this a spaghetti strap dress? Is that what it's called? With women's clothing, I swear you need like a graduate degree. You need a PhD to be able to differentiate all the proper keywords. The best person on YouTube for that is Nicole State. She is far, far, far superior to me when it comes to women's clothing. Most resellers who sell women's clothing are probably superior to me on that front because I don't do it a whole lot, which is one of the challenges of the bins because it's all mixed in together. I end up getting a lot more women's stuff than I typically would otherwise. I've sold one item from this brand, Lou and Gray, before. It was a pair of linen overalls. Took a little while to sell. This is a very summery, I think this is probably viscose fabric shirt. Did not look these up. I just am trying to get a bunch of inventory and get the blood really flowing, get stuff in and out. I hear that this is a good brand for Poshmark. So we'll see. This is a basic blouse, long sleeve blouse. I'm guessing. God, I got a lot of stuff. This is a brand I've talked about a couple times in recent videos. This is on my short list for inclusion in the Rolodex of golden, platinum, buy on site brands. I haven't sold any women's stuff. Let's see. This actually is really promising on Poshmark. Some of the stuff sold for a ton of money. This is another boho piece. This is meant to resemble those tacky graphic tie-dye t-shirts that you get at truck stops, etc. This is actually for me. This is a pair of Old Navy The Diva jeans. So this is my perversion as someone who tries to dress fairly nicely. I've found that it's much easier to buy women's jeans and to retrofit them with deeper pockets if you're a man, because the cuts are much more tapered, much more flat. I don't wear skinny jeans, like the skin tight skinny jeans, but I like a properly fitting pair of jeans, and that's really hard to find in men's jeans under, you know, 60, 80 bucks if you buy the stuff new, and you never find it in the men's section at a thrift store, which is where I source all of my own clothing. So I found that kind of hack, I guess you could call it. And also I discovered women's jeans are about 3 times more comfortable than men's jeans. So definitely putting a target on my back telling you that, but it's a great tip if you need to find some cheap jeans that look really good. Totally worth it. This is cool. This is not for me, I promise. Just sitting right on top of a bin. Clearly someone grabbed it and threw it back. This looks like actual military surplus. Here's the tag. This looks like a proper military pair of jeans. It can't be. I don't think that it is. I don't think the military would co-sign something of this nature. I believe they're women's jeans. I just bought them without looking them up. It seems like a win. It's the one pair of shoes I got all day. Cowboy boot wedges, I guess, or heels. The brand is Charlie One Horse. And there are comps on this brand in the $100 to $150 range. They have gum on the soles, and they have a little bit of wear, but I figure this is safe $50 sale, potentially more. Obviously they need to be cleaned. Oh my god, this bins haul is enormous. Another brand that I would not pick up for full retail price. This is a silk lightweight jacket slash blazer with some floral stuff going on the sleeve. This was another item that was probably borderline free. It's so lightweight, I probably paid under $1 for it. Flying blind on this one, it's a Paul McCartney tour t-shirt from recently. But it is official Paul McCartney branded. Figure probably another $10 sale. These big popular people or popular bands, the market is really saturated with cheap stuff that's brand new, so you have to undercut it if it's used. This is a brand I've passed over dozens of times, and I had a mental block on looking this up. For some reason, I can't explain why, I just never looked it up, but I looked it up on Poshmark. Some of the stuff does sell and sell for decent money, so we will see. I guess this is mostly women's clothing that I got today. Not familiar at all, just looked at it briefly on Poshmark, and this is a linen blend something or other, so I bought it. Same story. Don't know this brand. It is a long sleeveless jersey material, or t-shirt material rather, stretchy dress. Another reason why maybe you should slow way down in the bins and look and feel and touch, because never would have noticed that this has a material composition that includes camel hair, which adds to its value. Camel hair typically is love it so much. Love my neighbor. And I think this is the last bins item. Can't believe I actually found this at the bins. This is in a couple of my most recent videos. This is one of the brands I will just pull the trigger on, point blank, no questions asked. Salty Crew t-shirts. Salty Crew in general is a great seller. This is almost too good to be true. I assume when I put this under the fluorescent lights, there will be some kind of stain on it. But it'll still sell. All right. So, the receipt was in there somewhere. Okay, here it was. Yeah. So all that stuff I got for $40.39. Pretty nuts. These next items are from the Goodwill retail store next door, and I got it all for $119.70. That's minus an Orbital CD and a Meat Beat Manifesto CD that were $2 each, and a Reese's that I had for dinner. Oh, also at the bins I found $1.25 in a backpack. So you can subtract that from the total price, I guess. Okay, let's try to get through this fast. I couldn't. This was so bizarre. The new clothing racks that came out were incredible today. This is one of the weirdest things I've ever found. This is World Championship Wrestling, the promotion from the 90s and early 2000s that was the main rival for WWF. This was the second half of the Monday Night Wars. You would anticipate seeing a wrestler when I lift this shirt up, would you not? It's Tina Turner. This is a tour shirt, a period tour shirt from Tina Turner featuring Lionel Richie. I can't explain this. I don't think Tina Turner had a relationship with WCW. Maybe she did. Maybe there's an interesting bit of history behind this. I thought perhaps this was somebody who had a blank WCW t-shirt who screen printed this on after the fact, but it's just too crisp. It looks authentically like it was originally printed on this shirt. eBay at this point was working, and I couldn't find anything even close to this. I got it for $4. I have no idea how much this is worth. This could be worth $25. This could be worth $500. I really don't know. That is a giant question mark. And then right next to that, let's see if I can find it. There's another shirt that's in a similar vein. And it was like someone had taken it off of a new clothing rack and then put it back on the rack and decided not to buy it. And this is what I'm talking about with the more you know, the less competition you have. Okay, so this is another pair of women's jeans that I bought for myself. Shirt for me. I originally was just going to go buy a couple things for myself because I lost a little bit of weight and I need better fitting clothing. And I ended up spending $100 on other stuff. Got this for $7. Here's the brands. Not a Grand Slam brands, but this is unique enough. This is a herringbone. That's what that pattern is called, herringbone. Linen blend sport coat. And we're eventually going to come up on the linen time of year. Okay, so this was the second t-shirt. I didn't even bother looking this up. This is another one that I just bought. This was right next to the Tina Turner shirt. Authentic vintage, immaculate condition, Cher tour t-shirt from, I think it was 1998 or 1999. Yeah, 99. With a Made in USA tag. Another one I haven't looked up. I don't know what it's worth. Another one that could be between, I'm not going to get less than 50 for this. I could get, triple digits. We'll see. It's a brand you don't see that much, or at least I don't. This peaked and then dropped way off sometime in the late aughts, I think. It stopped being popular, but these men's hiking shorts apparently are very high sell-through. I got these for $5. We'll probably flip this for 20. Very bread and butter. This is a tour shirt from this band, The Voids, from a local a venue that's actually right down the street from me, the Wiltern. This is not something I was familiar with. I just looked it up. There was one comp of a similar shirt that sold for $40. Here is another Massimo Dutti men's polo shirt. Men's Massimo Dutti polo shirts, 100% sell through. Got it for $6. This, I have a feeling, may end up in my personal collection if it fits me. Digital camo Thrasher magazine hoodie in size large for $7. Thrasher stuff sells if it's priced right. Last bag, and then I have the big grand finale crazy thing that probably paid for everything that you've seen here. Here is a vintage Taz 1994 t-shirt on this tag. Didn't bother to look it up. It was $4. Another one I'll probably sell for around $25, $30, potentially more. This one is a Nothing brand. Not familiar with it, but it's a 2XL men's t-shirt with Keith Haring art on it. That's this artist. You've probably seen this stuff before. This is Keith Haring, Haring, and his stuff is really popular right now, and I don't anticipate this sitting around for very long. Got it for $4. Here's a pair of waxed denim G-Star jeans that was half off, so I got this for $4. I think it's women's. Potentially this is boys. G-Star stuff sells quite well. Here's thinner. Of course, no haul video is complete without Salt Valley Western. Men's small. This might fit me. I might end up keeping this one as well. And it was half off for $3. Decent brand. Doesn't all universally sell, but it sells for pretty good money. This is, never found this before. This is wool/yak fabric. Never found anything yak hair before. Didn't look it up. I assume it's worth the price of admission. This is a men's extra small. Got it for $7. I might try it on, see if I like how yak feels. Yeah, this was a funny one. Another one that someone just threw back on one of the racks. Aldo Conti. It feels really cheap in terms of the material. It's new with tags. Look at this. I mean, this price doesn't necessarily mean anything. I could, put a price tag on this half-used roll of eBay tape for $800. It wouldn't mean that's what it was worth. But I pulled the trigger on it just in case. It was $7. I asked Rick of Thrift Fever if he recognized the brand, and he said no, but he looked it up, and it's apparently a Mexican brand and not an Italian brand, and he said it was probably a drug lord shirt. So, gonna make a friend. Okay, so here's the big holy grail find of the day, other than those t-shirts. I have been waiting and waiting to find one of these. This is a genuine vintage Vietnam era leather bomber jacket. I just did a brief bit of research on this. They do not sell for less than $150. I anticipate getting at least that much. It's got a little bit of wear on these cuffs. Got it for 30 bucks, so I did spend up on it, but that is $30 safely invested. This is just an awesome piece. It's really heavy. The leather is stiff. I didn't find any holes in the leather itself. Oh, there's a little bit of wear there, right there. But this clearly has just been hibernating in somebody's closet for a long time. And again, this came out on a new clothing rack. I was walking with the rack directly parallel to this thing the whole way until it stopped and I could grab it. And this is the first thing that I grabbed. So this probably paid for the entire haul. And I will be a busy boy for the next few days listing all this stuff, and I'll keep you abreast. I haven't done a what's sold video in a while just because my sales have been really shitty. If your sales also are shitty after Christmas, I recommend listing every day. It's always the same story. Once you get a head of steam going, the sales just roll in because eBay's algorithm pays attention to you and will reward you for consistent effort in terms of keeping your account active and healthy. That stuff is always super important and never to be underestimated in how much impact it will make. Okay, I'm going to go hopefully watch Pete Buttigieg get eviscerated. Thank you for watching, guys. Appreciate it, and good luck out there.